You're listening to the You Don't Know Me Yet podcast network.
Hey, you are tuned in to Two Gems and a Mic with hosts Tanisha the Diva Mahomes and Linda L.D. Dorsey. Just know, if we talking about it, you need to hear about it. Unwind and enjoy. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Two Gems and a Mic. I'm your girl LD. I got my girl the Diva. What's going on, Tanisha?
Hey, what's going on, Linda?
Nothing. We got our boy, of course, Darren. Hey Darren, what to do?
Oh, nothing. Just hers being right all the time.
Go ahead, Tanisha. Give it to him.
All right. Last week he magically pulled this magical game. Now the truth be told, I think he had some inside scoop on it because it was random damn game that just came magically out of air that some kind of way
It wasn't random.
just happened to be, which is the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Cowboys. And yeah, I think he had an inside scoop. He is over there a beat writer for Kansas City. Y'all be the judge. I don't know. But I will give him his flowers. He was correct. I was wrong.
We're going to give it to him.
You were very wrong. Hold on. I just want to say you were very wrong. You were very loud about it. And I didn't pull nothing out of my ass. I told you, I said the NFL, they want viewership this year. Chiefs, Cowboys, Thanksgiving. That's the biggest matchup of the
why?
year.
So now that you put it out, then happened. Chiefs Cowboys is the biggest draw for who?
Exactly, because
like everybody's
the Chiefs
won
the Super Bowl. The Philly won.
A lot of people want to see their team, huh?
CBS. Look, okay.
Hold on,
seriously.
Seriously, I'm just curious as to why.
No.
Not saying you're wrong.
So I'm saying so. If you remember 2022, the Cowboys they hosted the New York Giants on Thanksgiving. That was the highest. I think that was the highest rated game of all time on a particular day outside of a championship game or Super Bowl, and that was the highest rated game. And that happened to be on Thanksgiving. Now we know the Cowboys generally get about 30-35 million on that day because obviously there's really nothing else going on. People are at home. You got and Detroit used to be so bad that everybody was just waiting for the Cowboys game after they got through eating whatever. Now you can sit around and just get fat and be merry watch football, but now. You have the storyline of Patrick Mahomes never played at Cowboy Stadium.
Okay.
What better?
That's right.
What better storyline? What better way? And if you stop thinking about it, the Chiefs now, of course we know now they have 7 primetime games. They have a total, I think, 12 standalone games, which includes obviously the primetime games and the late afternoon windows. And so, if you know your Thanksgiving Day is going to be that big, what do you do for your networks that you can give them their biggest draw? And if you're CBS, you know that your biggest draw is Patrick Mahomes, and you got the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and you get a chance to cross flex. You put the Chiefs on with the Cowboys, and you hopefully, 45 million would be considered obviously a record because it's 42. But I think they're going to be shooting for 50 million people to watch that game on Thanksgiving.
Okay, I just didn't,
and that translates to dollars too.
And I guess,
it is America's team, the Cowboys. So
Jesus.
Chiefs.
It could be 50.
Neither one. And I like both the QBs in them, but yeah, I'm not.
But at the end of the day, it's all about the if you all look, and of course we talked about it before the schedules came out, but if you look at the schedule and you look at a lot of the primetime matchup games, the NFL is really relying on the Chiefs, Cowboys, the NFC East, and quarterback draw. But this year they're really trying to get as many eyeballs as possible, as humanly possible on these games, and just knowing that the quote unquote the NFC East kind of like back up to where with Philly and Washington, and of course the Cowboys being a draw, and then the Giants perhaps being a little bit better. You got those 4 markets. You got the Chiefs, you got Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
All right, Darren, you done made your damn point.
Well, I mean,
He doing
he
a whole
acts.
lot.
He doing a whole lot of marketing and analytics and stuff that don't nobody really care about unless they're a Chiefs
Well, the
Moving
fan or a
on.
NFL coach.
Cowboys fan. Yeah, we gonna move
Moving
on.
on.
We
Let's move
just say
on
all
to
that
more
to say that
important
I was
stuff.
right
Said
once
You
America.
were
again.
right. We gave you that. You was right. All right, let's move on. We're gonna
I
move
just
on.
forget a lot of
WNBA
stuff.
kicked off this weekend, this past weekend. A lot of good games. Got to see
Yeah.
some rookies out there playing, and they look good. Like
What was the
what's
best game for y'all?
I was gonna say, for me, I enjoyed the Aces in New York. That was a good game.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
good matchup to start up with. Aces got some work to do. New York
Mm.
look smooth, but the Aces got some work to do. Asia Wilson ain't missed a beat.
No.
Not one.
Brianna Stewart not didn't
Not
miss a beat, but
one.
it's funny. But Brianna Stewart felt like hers was just like first and fourth quarter, but Asia Wilson was just all throughout the game. Like
She
there
was
was no.
carrying the team. She can't do that all year.
I,
She's not gonna be able to do it,
Listen,
and they got to get her some help. Now they do got some people on the bench that weren't ready, couldn't play this game or whatever, injuries or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. They be letting people go out there that I don't understand. There's some players that are at the house, like Deja Kelly. There's some players that are not on teams right now that I think could have helped teams. And some of the teams that I watch play, um, I'm like, why'd you let that person go? Why'd you let that person go? I watched Indiana play. Indiana played real well. They let Bree Hall go. I was just mad because I'm a Bree Hall fan. So wasn't. But they look good. They
I
look
like
good.
to I like to say for me, probably would have been Sunday's game between Washington and Connecticut. It was a good physical game. I think I talked to you Friday night, Linda. I think we might have been talking about Atlanta and Washington because I know I talked to you
Mhm.
about Page scoring, but I also think the Washington Atlanta game as well on Friday was a pretty good to start the season off. I
Yeah,
thought those
because
those were good openers.
yeah, Friday night and then yesterday because Kiki Irfin from
Yeah,
USC,
USC. Oh, she
she had a
double
double double
double,
yesterday. What's her name got kicked out of the game.
and I was mad about
But
that
the
too,
two
Linda,
rookies,
because they did not have her on FanDuel at all because she was going to be on the
she
slip.
gonna get on there because she's been doing her thing the last. I mean, I don't. She started both games, but I don't like they don't have and Brittany Sykes played great. They don't have their the guard that they drafted. She tore her ACL, so she's not
Mhm.
playing. But Citron, I think I'm saying her name properly. The,
Yeah,
the young lady from Notre Dame, she played well. Watch the Mystics look good. They look good.
I'm gonna be honest. Though the one person that now look, I'm gonna be nice, but I have no idea what Stephanie Dolson's role is on that team as a forward because
Big
she
Steph be getting it in. Big Mama be getting it in. Watch as the
I
season
don't
go
know.
along.
She just be out there for cardio purposes. 3 points, 0 rebounds in 26 minutes a game. But she got
She
four
be in the way,
fouls.
but I guarantee she got some fouls. And I bet you she set some picks. Her basketball IQ. I said the same thing about Dolson. Dolson been on some championship teams, and she make when she has to when people are injured or whatever. She can step up and play. So maybe she's a good practice player. I don't know. Tanisha, you real quiet.
don't let y'all talk. I'm letting y'all talk. It sounds good. Y'all, I don't have nothing to interject. I'll jump on y'all when I need to.
Okay, okay. I'm
Plus,
trying to think of who the
I'm
other.
kind of wait. I'm kind of waiting to talk about Angel.
Well, we could talk about that now. We could talk about
Well,
I mean,
hold
go
on.
Indiana
ahead.
and
Before we do,
Indiana. Go
because
ahead.
no, I was going to say
Go
before,
ahead.
because this actually deals with the Chicago Sky. But were you surprised, Linda,
Mhm.
were you surprised that Haley Van Lift didn't get in until scrap time at the
I
very end?
was. I
'Cause
was.
I
I
was
thought he would
like,
throw out this. You already. I mean,
she's
you
the first
needed a
round. She's the
spark.
first round draft pick. Like,
Yeah,
why is she playing scrap minutes when you could have used her? But
because she
okay,
came in right away and did what she had to do. I don't know.
She's
Tyler,
been
Coach
doing
Marsh is
that's
a
that's what's been happening for some reason.
yeah.
Like,
What him?
well, I mean, her having to come in and
Well,
shoot
I mean,
and
she
get
started
it
everywhere
in real
she's
quick.
gone, but I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know why he didn't start her. But
Yeah,
I mean, we can talk about it when we have him on the show. Let
yeah,
some
but
stuff
bring him
calm
in
down.
and well, I don't
Yeah.
know if he gonna tell us all that,
Now he ain't gonna tell her all their business. But
but
yeah, that did surprise me. But I just thought that I think when the game started, it was okay, and then Indiana just took over. They just took over that game. They had just too many weapons. Um, It
But she only
was
played 4 minutes, so it wasn't like she started or anything. That's well, again, she played at the very end in the garbage minutes, which is why I couldn't
yeah. No, I
understand. Like,
agree with you. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I saw Minnesota. Minnesota looked good. Nafisha Collier. So we want to go back to the other games. Nafisha Collier, she's doing what she's doing. She's going on that. She was a little salty about
and
not getting MVP.
Kelsey Plum, in her
Yeah,
debut.
37.
Oh gosh, and I think she played every minute too.
She probably did. And Kelsey Plum ain't never seen a shot she ain't like. So yeah, the links in the wings. So that was Paige's debut. She had a solid game. She can see the floor and do whatever. She'll pick it up as she goes. And the Sparks played the new I call them the new kids on the block, the Valkyries. But like Plum, 37 points. That's a lot of points. They had Ray Burrell went down. Hopefully she's okay. I haven't seen anything on her not like being out for the season or whatever. So she was making TikTok. So hopefully she's feeling good.
I've got one more question, but
Mhm.
did Cameron Brinks come back? I
I
know
didn't
she
see
suffered an
or did
injury
hear her
last year.
name. I didn't see her name or hear her for anything in that lineup. It was
Okay, so
all
maybe she's not.
plum,
Maybe
plum,
she's
plum.
not.
So I don't think she's back yet. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know if she's on that roster. She's out for the season. I'm not sure what is going on. I got to look that up and see
No,
what's
she
going
she
on.
didn't play. She's
Yeah.
not on the. Okay.
So we had the Sky and the Fever, and then
Mhm.
the Storm and the Mercury. So Phoenix, Alyssa Thomas, that's a beast. That's a beast. She looked real good. That was a late game. The Storm and the Mercury. And Mercury came out on that one. But Tanisha, go ahead. You want to talk about them Angels?
No, I thought that it was nice to see that the league came out and condemned all the racism and hate that she getting and discrimination that these fans and stuff is like. It was good to see them come out and say that they not that's not acceptable. That they throwing everything at her but the kitchen sink.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, somebody said there's evidence and whatever of what was said. I don't know. I don't. I saw part of her press conference, and they basically asked her about the foul. She said, "Hey, the referees made the call. Move on." That was
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, it's a shame that that's the highlight based on what went on over the weekend. That's all we're hearing because there was a lot of good basketball, and hopefully that'll die down. All that nonsense
It
will
won't.
die down. But yeah,
It
I mean,
won't
it's
because
good
they
luck
got
with
like
that.
four more
It
times.
tarnishes it for so many people, and then so many people to start with the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese stuff. It's really it's old. It's old and it's tiring. But
Mhm.
for adults to be sitting in there. I don't know what the allegations were, what they said. It was said it was racist remarks or sounds or whatever. Um, but that's
Yeah.
that goes to say, I it makes me want to beat Indiana even more ourselves, and not it ain't got nothing to do with the players. It's just the state of the
Mhm.
Indiana. Let me yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go get them. Let's go get them. So yeah, it's
Well, you know what?
the
Look,
hurt
let me
from
say
our
this.
state, but
Let me
yeah.
say this. When it comes to Chicago and Indiana, um, I think it's a real big discrepancy in the talent because it seems like every
Oh,
time that these two teams play
absolutely.
each other, well, not only
It's a
talent, but
Oh, you
no-brainer,
coaching.
think?
man.
You said you think?
That's a no-brainer.
No, but I'm
Yeah,
saying, but not only
yeah.
that, but I'm saying, but also coaching as well. Because again, I question as to why you set, you had your Haley Van List, your first round draft pick coming at the end of the game, but also it just seemed like there wasn't. It's not really a lot of adjustments that you see coming from the Chicago Sky, especially when they play Indiana. I mean,
I mean, it was one game. It was the first game of the season, and that was his first year coaching. So, I mean, he's developed a lot of players. So, I'm not going to question his ability to do that because he did it
Mm-mm.
in the NBA and he did it in the WNBA. Because he did it when
Yeah.
he was in Toronto and they won a championship. He did it when he was in Vegas and they won 2 championships. So, his coaching, I'm not gonna question that. Just like I didn't question what was going on with Teaspoon. I don't understand her
Hmm.
firing. So that I'm
Yeah,
not going to
I
question.
don't
I
get
just
that at
think the
all.
talent that's on Indiana, and I think I said it. I've been saying it since the draft, since before the draft. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with. I mean, you look at this starting five. It ain't a blemish on that starting five.
Mm-mm.
You ain't asking no questions about nobody in that starting five.
No, they said, but we said that when they drafted Caitlin, that they just were a player or two away from.
Player two away. And they went and got him.
And
I mean, you got a veteran on that
got
team
him
like
now, so
DeWanna Bonner.
no ifs, and buts about it.
She just went into third place. So third place is scoring in WNBA history. You put that player on that team.
Yeah, she getting at the side of a bar no Saturday, but yeah.
Well, I mean, she'll get you yours. Don't let Bonner get in the zone. She gonna get there. So, and Clark, you asked me before the game. I said, hell, she might get. I thought maybe because it was gonna be some bigs under there that she wouldn't get it, but she got it. I said she definitely getting a double. I told you that before the game.
Well,
I said she
and
might get a triple double.
I'll say this: the one thing about Caitlin Clark is that you'll see her be a lot more aggressive and a lot more um, bold in some of her actions, i.e., like a pushing an Angel recently to bats because she got a couple of dogs with her now in DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard. You know what I'm saying? That'll kind of back her up. And of course, this time around she had a Leah Boston this time around kind of standing up for her. So she's not going to be out there like on an island by herself. If somebody gets a hard foul on her, they'll I'm
She
pretty
wasn't
sure.
on no island last year. She wasn't on no island last year. They came to her teammates, came to her rescue anytime anything happened, as teammates do. So it ain't just her. That's everybody. You know. But it was a heated moment thing, right? Her teammate got knocked down. If you watch the whole sequence before she even touched Angel, her teammate got down.
That's why we talked about it. You and I think
she was complaining to the referee about that, and then she just fouled Angel, but the push, the extra. So some people want to say she didn't push it, she didn't, she did. It wasn't a flagrant one. It was, and the referee knew that. You had to call that.
Yeah, it was.
It was a flagrant one.
Because if you
was a flagrant.
around the other way, it was going to be a flagrant one.
I mean,
my whole thing. This is my problem, though. This is what I don't want to end up being upset about is we can't get it to the point. And I'm like I said, I like what Caitlin's, and I've said that. I said if she got in there and got her handles the way really worked on her handles, I said that was going to me. It was going to be everything that she needed. I just thought that she was a little slow with the handles, but she didn't cleaned all that up. Like you can tell her work ethic is serious because she got that done fast. But I don't want to go a whole season where you can't touch her, but she can do any damn thing she want to do to everybody, and then the other person is gonna get hate mail, and I don't want to see that. See, that's gonna turn me off to it because I understand, she's a star, and I want to cheer for her and be all excited, but if every time I turn the damn screen on, if somebody bump her now, they gon' the X and everybody gonna go against this person to make their life hell. That's gonna turn me off real quick.
I think it'll turn a lot of people off unless you're a fan.
Yeah, because I don't want to see that.
And I don't think she wants that either herself. So we just want the season goes the first weekend. We'll see what happens. Some more games they play somebody different. We'll see what.
I'm looking forward to seeing her ball out this year, and I don't want to be because she damn sure fouled her. So you did it. It is what it is. You got
move on.
I mean, let that go. That's ball.
It was people that got ejected in some other games. Not that that's what we want to talk about, but I look at Kiki Arifin. A rookie, second game.
I was just about. I was
double.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? A double in a comeback. I love her from when she was at Stanford, and the Mystics got her. So I can't wait to go see a game. She gonna give you everything she got.
Yeah, you gonna get to see him up there too, ain't you?
Kiki threw somebody down in the game yesterday.
Yeah, Kiki don't.
I was like,
she ain't playing she ain't playing like no rookie. But I'm excited for the season. It's going to see what people are going to be doing. Teams, what teams are going to do what. One game don't make a season, as we know.
Exactly.
You see when people come out, and it's just like.
But that team not ready anyway. Like you said, it is no secret that team is not ready.
No. I mean, they went going through coaching changes like that and other changes. Yeah, people that didn't come back because like Kennedy Carter, right? Where's she at? She ain't never come back to the WNBA the way it looked. So you put her on the team, that's different. And then do you start making pickups? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what those rules are when you can drop.
And why is that?
Who's sitting at the house? Because there's some people that's sitting at the house that could help their team.
Yeah,
Deja Kelly, Bree Hall.
Kennedy Carter.
Yeah,
I'll say this as it relates to.
She's not playing.
One last thing on that.
Why not though?
One last thing on that foul with them, because a lot of people were talking about Angel Reese's reaction, and my thing is we can't like try to impose on what her reaction should not have been because again now while she did push an old girl Aaliyah Boston to try to get the rebound, and of course Caitlin was like, "Ref, you're not gonna call that." Now, obviously, when Caitlin pushed her, the thing is because she was kind of going at full speed trying to get the rebound, and Caitlin pushed her. So in her mind, now at the time she don't know who's doing it, but I'm thinking in her mind she's thinking, okay, trying to break the fall and whether or not how she felt that was a little bit too much of an aggressive foul, so to speak. So I mean, so I don't begrudge her reaction to Caitlin and her getting up and doing what she did, but like she did, but she was big enough to say post game that
Yeah.
it was a basketball,
Yeah,
but
it's the heat. It's a basketball foul or whatever. The heat of the
had
moment,
no
people
business
get
doing shit.
good blood, bad blood. Heat of the moment, you saw it. I saw it happen in a few games where people turned around, looked, and they were like, "Come on now," and then they dapped each other up. Hell, we saw Diana Taurasi years ago. Diana Taurasi and Simone Augustus could have had a fight. What they do? They kissed and made up and
Kissed
kept
up.
playing. That was it.
Kissed.
So,
Sugar.
but in the heat of the moment, if somebody gets you from that street ball, regular ball, certain rules too. People get you, and then you're like, okay, heat of the moment, I'm losing, I'm this, whatever's going on, whatever's running through your mind, then you're like, I gotta calm down. That's adrenaline. You calm down, you play. Because the rest of the game they play. They
If you ain't
lost, but the
drawing no
rest of the game they
blood, then
played.
it ain't no foul.
No, that's BS. That's on the street. That ain't how I played the WNBA. But we'll see. So let's move on. I think we beat that, but we're gonna stay locked in for the season and see what happens.
Just don't change your password. You're right. I'll be locked in.
Yeah. I don't know, Darren. I don't know. I mean, y'all wanna call it? Y'all wanna call a repeat for New York? What you think?
Oh, hold on. Y'all didn't call it the first time around, so I would be the one calling for a
Darren, we done
repeat.
gave you them props. We're not gonna continue to give them to you every time we have a show.
That's okay. I know
Every
We know
time.
you missed it
Don't
right.
he
Not
be
every time.
begging
Good
for it,
Lord.
don't he?
Mm.
Lord,
You ain't getting enough
let
hugs
it
from
go.
mom, or what's going on? It's like,
Let it
goodness,
go,
I'm
sir.
gonna beat that hammer. I'm gonna beat that nail down.
man. So, do you want to
Love
make
y'all, though.
picks for next? For it's early. Y'all want to make a pick?
Okay, let's do this. Let's make a pick now, but then we come around after the All Star break
Okay, that sounds good.
and update because we injuries, all that other good stuff. If I honestly, man, if
Repeat.
I'm going off of one game, and man, I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna go with Indiana.
I go with Indiana making a deep run, but I don't go with them winning the championship. I go with New York because New York, even though they won that game, they didn't play as well as they could. And if the Aces
Agree.
don't get
Agree.
nobody, they're gonna be Sabrina Nescu did absolutely nothing in that game to me.
Okay.
And that's not gonna
I
happen
don't
all the time.
even.
Not no series. They're gonna be in the playoffs. So I have them with the experience winning and with the experience of a coach winning. Stephanie White's first year in there, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, she's
But
coached
you,
before,
Tanisha.
but we'll see.
I said repeat.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Then we just circle back around. All Star game
But
after
that's
the
a
All
good
Star.
pick, Darren,
It
because
is a
they
good
are
pick.
loaded.
They're
They
gonna they're
are
gonna they're gonna be
absolutely
scary.
loaded.
But we'll see
Yeah,
what
I really think. I mean, it's a good chance but I don't know.
I
I
mean,
mean,
we gotta see
look,
halftime, half of the
depending on how
season.
seeding is, they could be on opposite sides and maybe meet up in the final. You just never know.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Yep.
and that all depends, right? You do have to make another call once the playoff starts to see who's where, and you got to see who's healthy, and you pray that
That's
they all stay healthy. That's the biggest
and,
thing.
and I know we're going to talk about the NBA in just a second, but again, that's exactly what's going on in the Final Four right now. These teams are healthy. I mean, health is everything.
And that's a great segue. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs. I'm gonna start with a team that's near and dear to my heart, the New
Probably because it's dear,
York.
because
Near
Right.
and
We
dear.
in there.
it's dear to you. Duh.
He said near
We
and dear
in
to
there.
my heart.
How about
But
dear? Yeah, because the city's dear to you. That's why.
that's home. I grew up. What? I remember where I was the last time when we lost a game. I remember where I was when Reggie Miller scored 8 points
I
in
was gonna say
9
they just
seconds.
lost a
I
couple.
knew you
They
gonna
just
hit
lost
that
last
Reggie
week.
Miller on, but you don't never let that.
You can't. If you a
That
New York
Reggie
Knicks fan,
Miller
you ain't never
go.
gonna let that go. We
Okay,
we
I know.
we
Never.
going after him. You can't let that go.
Never.
You never forget that. They'll wake you up in the middle of the night. After I see
Year
Reggie, I'm like
after year after
20
year.
years. 20 years.
Woo! All right.
I'm impressed with the Knicks. I know a lot of people gonna say, well, Boston didn't do this, Boston do that. What got Boston? So yes, Jason Tatum, he went down. JT went
Damn.
down, he didn't play.
They
But
were still gonna lose that
they
game.
lost that series because they lost the first 2 games.
Yeah.
And Tatum was in those games. And I heard some commentary today
That one
from
point. That 1 point got him.
Yeah,
Me too.
Monica McNutt made a great point, an analysis. So she said everybody was saying about, and I said it. So let me say everybody. I said it. They kept shooting threes. They wouldn't stop shooting threes. That's their game. And everybody saying they shot too much. They shot themselves out of the game. She said, "What if your thing was driving to the basket, you getting offensive fouls? You gonna switch that game up, or do you stay with your game?" So it's like, do you switch what you've done to get you there? Do you switch what's done to win you a championship, or do you stick with that?
Still bring them. Stay with the one that brought you.
Yeah.
No. I still think you make adjustments, and I because if you're Phil Jackson, Pirelli, and they see that something's not working, they're gonna make you switch up, and to an extent, I think that's something that Michael Jordan would have done because we've all.
He ain't
I
talking about nobody on the Boston Celtics. He went
No,
back
no,
to
no,
Phil
no, no.
Jackson. This and
Can I?
that.
Can, I'm trying to. I'm trying to tie it all together, Linda. Well, but what I'm saying is, like Michael Jordan said, he never wanted to be a great 3-point shooter because he felt it would take away from his inside game and his aggressiveness as it relates to getting to the basket. If you notice, Jason Tatum could have drove to the basket, had many open lanes, but he kept settling for 3-point shots instead of going for, when your 3-point shots wouldn't drop, it wouldn't because they missed 150 at the, well, they missed
100. It was more
30,
than
30,
more than
30.
that.
Well, on average, they missed
Damn
30,
minute.
on average they missed 33-point shots a game. And so, but you think of those times where, especially the first two games when they were up by 20, they had they had many opportunities to go to the basket and get those twos where they could kind of at least push the lead out some
Right.
more.
Right.
And but they kept settling for threes, and so all those long rebounds, the other team gets a run back. Now that's those are 5-6 point swings or whatever, and so
So, but
Well,
her
you know what,
question was,
Darren?
go ahead, go ahead, go
Well,
ahead.
that's too damn bad.
But her question was basically if they were going to the hole and not making it happen, and you got shooters,
but they
would
didn't.
somebody
That's the
be?
problem, though. They
No,
didn't.
you not listening. Here's the question.
I know the question. Yes,
Right.
the
So she's
question is the
saying,
question
would
is you
somebody have
change up.
said,
Yes, you
right?
change up. You
Would they
change up.
be getting as much criticism had they? That was the question, and it made me think too. No, because people would have just said they ain't had no luck if they were missing layups. I don't think they would have got as much criticism. And to them, to a lot of players, which I don't like, the 3-point shot is like a layup to them.
But here's the flip side. When you're seeing that those shots are not dropping, if you don't even attempt to adjust, that's the problem. They never attempted to try to see if those layups would work or not, whether or not they would get offensive fouls.
I
So
agree with
because
what you're saying. I'm just making a point about her analogy and the
no no
way
no no no
that
no no
people
no
look at
no
stuff.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with
But
it,
a
but
lot of
no, I
times
agree. Hold on, Tanisha. I agree with her analysis, but my thing is, I don't agree with the fact that they did, because they never tried. That we don't
No,
know
she didn't
how it
say
would have
that.
turned out for her.
She didn't say that. No, she never said how. I mean, that's on them that they didn't try. I'm glad they didn't try, so they lost. But
But a lot
that wasn't
of
her
times
point.
a lot of
Yeah,
times a shooter, they'll tell you keep on
keep
shooting until
shooting.
you keep shooting. I mean, that's kind of what they tell you. Like it'll come and you just a little off, just keep shooting and it'll come. And so that's kind of the mindset when hell you usually shoot threes and they go in.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you also have to be smart enough to know that if it ain't dropping, like Donovan Mitchell, to his credit, was realizing he wasn't shooting well from the three. He kept taking the ball to the basket. Now, whether his teammates did whatever, that's on them. But if your 3-point shots aren't dropping, don't keep shooting threes when they not dropping.
well, it didn't make a
Work your
difference for
way
them
inside.
anyhow.
Work your way inside, and get the confidence of seeing your shot drop, and then work your way back out.
Yeah, I mean that's what they said. Some coaches will tell you that, some won't. So let's talk about Donovan Mitchell and Indiana and Cleveland. What went wrong there?
Injuries and some of them players from Cleveland are soft.
Oh, no.
Oh shit. Okay, Tanisha. Tanisha,
I had to clutch my pearls. Say they soft.
I'm
Tanisha,
sorry. I guess you think
he call
I guess you
him
think I
out.
was supposed to
He
go
called
there.
him
please
out. Talk
elaborate,
about it.
sir.
Go ahead, Darren. I want to hear
Please,
this.
Oh no, just
please.
I mean,
Who's soft?
you want me to name names? Jared Allen,
Yeah.
You done called
Darius,
them out.
Garland, what was it?
Don't
Yeah,
mumble.
Darius Garland, DG. Look, it it showed it. Now I don't know. Me and Linda may have talked this on this game. I don't know, but after game two, they were up by 20. They got walked down. They were up by 7, and in the last minute of the game, and obviously we saw what Indiana did. But throughout that game, because two of the players got hurt in the first game, Evan Mobley and DeAndre Hunter, but also the point guard Darius Garland had been hurt, got hurt I think in game 2 or 3 of the first round matchup against Miami. But they had they all could have taken a shot or whatever and play and played that game, but they suffered they suffered a loss in game number one. They had an opportunity to win that game. They were up, but they didn't. And the fact that they did not play, but you saw camera cutaways to them where they're just cracking up, laughing, and having a
Oh
jolly
yeah,
good
no,
time on
I
the bench.
think I mean,
And then but then when they
so
lost that
okay,
game,
but
it forced them to play in game three.
so
And
let me ask you this: given that what you just said, and Tanisha, I want your take on this too. Do you think that Indiana is tested and ready for the Knicks?
Oh yeah.
You think they battled? What do you think, Tanisha? Like, cause you went in, they beat them what 4-1.
Mhm.
So you could be a little too relaxed.
Well, you could,
if
but
any,
but but I think of but I think back to the first round matchup because it was a physical matchup with them in Milwaukee, and so that was a physical game. The Miami Cleveland game was more finesse, was a lot more jump shots because they had such wide margins of victory that it didn't really get
It didn't
down.
matter. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Miami to me
No,
yeah,
no,
that
I
was
get
like
it, but
yeah.
yeah, but I'm saying, but when it comes to because now Indiana got real physical with them, and I mean, we saw how that turned out.
So what I mean, Tanisha, what's your take?
hell, I was finna say it. We jumped in and took it.
You took care of
I'm
it.
just
All right.
as soon as yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I
we
mean,
went.
I don't. So who you got coming out of that series, Tanisha? Knicks or the Pacers? You know who I'm going with. I'm going with the Knicks. As long as the Knicks don't do nothing stupid and give up
Oh
a game,
Lord.
and they want some get back, but you got to
Knicks.
play smart. We get back, and you not. They took us out last year, but we didn't have a player, and they didn't have everybody they had last year either. So it's
I'm going
different.
Knicks because they just I don't know they playing like they want it. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie, man. I'm too nervous to pick the. I think I'm going to go with Indiana,
Indiana.
and I
And the
Tell me
Pacers
and
why.
well, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Explain.
Man,
Way to
I'm in
host
here.
the
Yeah,
show.
tell me something. I'm in here
Way
having
to
hot
go, Linda.
flashes, all kinds of stuff.
Way
Go
to host
ahead.
the show, Linda. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah.
So no, no, no. So in all seriousness, there's, there's a couple of things. One, Indiana has great depth, and their players are playing well. Now, there's pro and cons for me when it comes to both teams. Indiana, I got to make sure Tyrese Halliburton is going to show up to play
No,
every single
and
game.
he ain't. So we ain't got to
I
worry
know,
about
I know
that.
that's the
He ain't and
but I
can't.
think, but I think even when he doesn't, other players step up because of the depth. What worries me about the Knicks, and the reason
My
why
dad love him.
the reason why it's hard for me to pick the Knicks is because their offense leaves a lot to be desired because they seem to struggle early on in the games to put points on the board where and especially if Jalen Brunson isn't hitting right away or Carl Anthony Towns isn't doing something, they can find themselves in those large gaps and
So
then
in
they're finding
running
back.
behind.
And and,
Mhm.
and then the biggest difference is that Indiana they can score quickly and they like to push the ball up and down the court and score. New York because they've shown that they don't play with a lot of great depth off their bench.
Mhm.
If them players aren't, if they're not scoring, I mean they're throwing up a lot of bricks and stuff. Now, again, I feel like what helped them in the last series was Boston shot so many threes and was missing so many threes that they got them long rebounds. They were able to, and then somehow they were able to, keep the game close. I just don't know if that happens again. And I
Well, I
just,
mean, New York McBride came off the bench. That was a surprise for people. What he did,
yeah,
I think, and I do agree with you there.
but the depth is
Tebow,
what
he's
bothers
only going
me.
to play so many people.
Yeah.
They sitting there on the bench, but he's only going to play so many. And then the consistency, because I mess up his name all the time.
Yeah, OG Ananobi. I mean,
Yeah,
this
and I know.
last series he was horrible.
Well, the game before he had like what 5 points, 7 points, and this the last game, then he comes up with like 20 something.
Yeah,
Every
see, that's
game that he
that's
played well, if he played, but then he was forcing things. So if you don't force, if you know, like you said, it's with any player, if I know I'm not hitting, I gotta go ahead and start passing the ball, but they try to shoot themselves out of it, and I'm like, you gotta do that in practice tomorrow or whatever. But
And
I'm going with my Knicks. I'm going with my Knicks.
look, I think it's going to be a great series. I mean, these two teams faced off last year. It went to 7 games, and and again, the Knicks were hurt. I mean, I think Brunson or somebody got hurt in Game 7 of last year,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
where so I mean, right now, and Brunson is still dealing with some nagging stuff, but for the most part, both teams are going to come into Wednesday's games healthy or whatever, and we just got to we just see. Look,
He got
I
yeah. If not,
in
Spike gonna
in
trip
my heart, I
somebody.
want the Knicks to win, but I'm thinking just from what I've seen thus far, and
Hmm.
just off the games that we've gotten so far, Indiana has looked like the more solid team, more consistent team from first quarter to the fourth quarter than I have seen from the Knicks, and
Okay,
that's what worries me.
Tanisha, you agree with that, or
Of course I
you going
do.
with the Knicks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going
I
with the
think
Knicks.
they, like Tanisha said, they're hungrier. I think it's just some
Well, both
minimum. And I
teams are
just
hungry.
think
I mean,
I something I don't I well I can't I don't like the Pacers, so we
well,
know
just say
that.
that
So
part,
for
but
me to be I mean for me to be I was like being objective or whatever. It's hard for me because I'm on this one with the Knicks. If it was some now you take me to the other. Let's go out to the West.
hold on, wait a second. I cover the Chiefs, and I'm objective when it
Yeah,
comes
I
to
can't.
covering
You
them.
cover them. I ain't covering them.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
a
saying, but I'm
fan.
saying, hold on. But their success is my
When
success.
we
So,
asked you about that, you said I'm not a fan. I cover them. That what
well,
he said,
that
Tanisha?
part, hold on, that part is
Yeah.
true.
Yep.
But hold on,
You saying
but I also know Tanisha's nephew gets me to the Super Bowl every year. So I'm grateful
well
for that
that
too.
that
Still ain't
with
winning.
that being
You
said, I'm let's go out
know,
west. So OKC put foot
Midwest,
in Midwest, excuse me. OKC put foot in their neck yesterday.
boots to
Um
ass.
yes, they did. Yes, they did. They look good. You got Ant Edwards and them. I mean, I like players on both sides of this.
I know.
So I ain't got no skin in the game. I like both players, both teams or whatever. I don't even know how I gotta see them play each other
I
before
want
I
to
can
hold
even
on.
say.
See. This is the kind of game. This is the kind of series, Linda, that you hope goes 7 games because there's good players on both sides. They got depth. They got good coaching. They got good players. Like let's just just throw the ball up and let's just sit back
Yeah,
and please just don't let it be no 30-40 point blowouts. I mean that's the only thing I'm you know.
I'm happy the Nuggets ain't in. I meant to say that too. So I'm happy. I'm tired of seeing it. But I like the fact that these teams that we have in there now, it's like, okay, we can see, and especially coming out of the Western Conference.
Yeah.
So this all new fresh blood coming out of there.
Let me ask you ladies this: when it comes to the Western Conference, because they played Game 7 yesterday, and their first game is tomorrow. I.e., while the Knicks play Saturday, but their first game isn't until
I
Wednesday.
don't understand that scheduling. That's dumb
Do
to
you
me.
think? Do you think uh, that have only just essentially 1.5, 2 days rest is going to be more favorable for Minnesota than it is um, for OKC or what?
I think it's gonna be. I mean they're so young. I think they recover, but it is a lot. Um um for them. But I think your body, regardless how young you need recovery. I mean, Tanisha, what you think? They need the recovery.
No.
You don't think so? Because they're young. They're
Well,
amped up.
but the
Get
fact
up
that they
there
have
and
a
play
deep
basketball.
bench helps too.
Yeah. Yes. They do. So I don't know. I think they're just excited
Nice.
and ready to go. I think they're ready to go. They had the best record or whatever. I really until they start playing each other, I don't know who to
I'm gonna
call
go
out.
with OKC only because they have home court advantage. That's the only.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with them.
Okay. Tanisha, who you got coming out of the
Okay,
West?
see.
Okay. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I really I can't call it. I can't call it. If I had to call it, though, if you forced me, I would say OKC coming out of the
Okay, then
West.
we
I would
force you to
say I would
call it
say that.
because
Yeah, I'm gonna
you can't
call
be
it.
sitting on the fence on this
Now
show.
I know, and we'll check back in next week, this time next week or Tuesday or whatever, and see where we are. Um, but we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna close up. What you got for a closing thought, Darren?
I just want to wish everyone a happy Memorial's Day. And I know we're gonna remember our loved ones and those who went on before us. But let's have a safe Memorial Day weekend.
Yep. Tanisha?
Yeah, I was gonna tell everybody don't do too much. Don't be out there getting yourself. I'm not posting bail from nobody. Don't call me.
I can't call you for bail.
Hey, you ain't
She ain't gonna answer the phone. No way.
Right.
Hey, you too old to be acting up. Don't call me.
Damn, you went there on me, Tanisha.
Hell, I would, but hell, I'm be hotter than fish grease. You call me in the middle of the night with that. I'm gonna get you out, but don't be pissed off. But no, just be careful out there, people, and don't do don't do nothing that might get you deported. Don't do nothing that might get you in trouble.
Oh my God.
Do what you need to do to stay right here in this country. Follow the law. That's all I'm saying.
Find you someone who loves you enough to give you a $400 million jet.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and look at you in the eyes like that. Absolutely.
You're silly. All right. I as always, right? So y'all touched on it, to be safe, do all this stuff. Be kind. Continue to be kind, or try to be kind. If you haven't started, just a little gesture, hold that door, say hello, say thank you, say you're welcome, or something. It could change somebody's day or whatever. So until next time, please be kind, be blessed. It's free. See you. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to Two Gems and a Mic. Be sure to subscribe and follow. Until next time, remember, be kind, be blessed. Peace.